This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
It's just like many of the listeners of this show, many of JR fans who grew up listening to You Were the Soundtrack for Us for Wrestling. You're the voice of wrestling. I choose to look at the 98.5 or 99% of everything you get right, including the call of when Malakai Black came out, strikes Cody Rhodes. That's a big acquisition for AEW, but you were fire. You bring it to life along with the audience. And, man, that was a really cool moment on that show.
You know, I didn't see him all day. I've never met him in my life. I didn't meet him before the show. I knew the rumblings that there was something. We got some surprises tonight. And, you know, I've been very adamant with my associates and my peers that I don't need to know that information. Now, that may come off as arrogant, but for me to be real and natural and spontaneous, I don't need to know it. I don't need to precondition myself as to, okay, he's going to do this, then I'm going to say that.
Right.
It loses the magic, man. It loses the magic. So I don't need to know any finishes, quite frankly. And the day that I can't interpret what a finish is and how it works out, when I can't do that, then somebody else will be sitting in that chair in the middle. So I had a lot of fun, and he's a big acquisition. He is, like you said, Paul. Malakai is a big acquisition for us, and I'm glad that he's on our team. And I'm very surprised that WWE let him slip away. Don't know all the backstory of that stuff, what the dirt is. You know, I'll leave that up to Wrestling Observer to figure all that stuff out. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that we're lucky we have him.
He's in his prime.
Yeah, and he's a unique talent. You know, it looks like his first dancing partner seems to be, anyway, based on what we saw in Memphis, is going to be Cody. And they'll have a hellacious run, I think. Both are young and hungry, and you know, Cody's one of my favorites in and out of the ring. And I guess that's because I was so close to his father. And I kind of have to, I feel compelled, even though he's never asked me to, I feel compelled to kind of look out for him a little bit, and I can't help it. So I'll just full disclosure. But that'll be a hell of a run. And so whenever it is, we got some, I think Tony Khan's got some other surprises I hear coming up. So Tony's been very aggressive, much like the Trevor Lawrence draft pick. He's shooting for the moon here on a lot of guys, and I think we're going to be loaded up for summer and fall and keep getting stronger.
And I can't wait. It's exciting as a fan of wrestling to have that excitement and that surprise back again. Who's going to show up and who, you know, you don't know who. You have the critics. We talk about social media. Oh, they're becoming WWE light. But it's funny. I was just talking to someone the other day, and they had a great comparison. So what you're trying to say is if someone in their prime becomes a free agent and the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia don't want to go after that talent, if they go after that talent and bring them on, then they become that other team. No, it's you picked up a great free agent who's going to, you know, contribute right away and be a big time player on this team.
Yeah, it's a weak argument.
Yeah.
Oh, they're WWE light. You know,
give me a break.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, and I'm not knocking WWE. It's not my charge in life to criticize and castigate the WWE. I had 26 great years there, and I'm not an anti-WWE. I don't feel like we're in a wrestling war. The war is AEW versus itself.
Yeah.
Getting our young guys to continue to evolve and get better. And I think we're seeing that. You know, some of our homegrown kids are starting to find their way. It's a big difference in working at PWG, for example, or an indie show and working a match on a national television show. It's a different mindset. It's just a different ball game. And a lot of our guys had never played in that ball game. So I see getting, you know, with our agents, our coaches, we call them, you know, we got a great group of guys that are there to help these kids. You know, Jerry Lynn's amazing. Dean Malenko, one of the best coaches I've ever seen. And, but we got a bunch of guys, you know, that are good, that help the talents. And now the talents are catching up with them and starting to create their own content. That's the idea. If you create ownership, you have a better chance of the owners becoming successful. So I remember Cowboy Bill Watts was back in the day, and I quote him a lot because he was my first real mentor, and he was a brilliant son of a gun. He would bring top talent in, and oftentimes to work with him. But he wanted that talent that came in to have ideas. Here's my idea how to shoot the angle to kick off our storyline. But what do you think? What would you do? What's worked for you in the past? And when the talent's able to contribute in that respect of creative, they have more confidence in what they're doing and they have ownership, Paul. Nobody wants to create a sinking ship. Right. Everybody wants to ride nice and smooth. And here we go. And Cowboy gave him that opportunity, even though his reputation as a hard ass, a perfectionist. Shame on me. I always compared him to Vince Lombardi, which a lot of guys don't have a clue who Vince Lombardi is. But he was a hard ass football coach that had great success and Hall of Fame. And it's kind of they call it the Lombardi Trophy for a good reason.
Yes, sir.
So, you know what I'm saying? I just believe that we got some talent, and I'd love to see how the evolution of this is coming about. It's fun. Yes. And for a guy, look, I don't know how many more years I got this, and I don't know if I even think about it in years anymore about my run. I'm healthy, thank God, knock on wood again. And I love it. But if my work deteriorates to a level that I can't handle, my ego won't let me to be bad, then I got to move on. I understand that. I understand how attrition works. So, but I'm going to have a lot of fun while I'm still at it. And hopefully it'll be a while longer because I enjoy being around this group. The great thing about being 69, I'll be 70 in January. And I'm energized by being around these kids, to be honest with you. I draw off their energy as well. And I think they draw off what they perceive to be my wisdom. If that's not an oxymoron referring to me, but in any event, I'm having a blast, and I'm hoping that we can still be productive and positive and be a welcome sight or a welcome listen for a while longer. That's my take on it. This is all I've ever done as an adult since Cowboy got me in the business out of Northeastern State University in Tahlequah, Oklahoma in 1974. And every year since, in one level or the other, I've been in wrestling. So I kind of like it.
Well, I think you're pretty good at it, JR, and a lot of would agree with that as well. I mean, if not, just go back, watch the Ethan Page, Darby Allin interview that was last week that you sat down with them. That was fun. Talk about young stars and bringing in some of the, other talent from the WWE, but there's still such a mix there of AEW young talent that's ready to go. But super exciting times, as you said, for the company. They're off like a rocket ship, back with fans. And I'm telling you, fans are going to be rabid for a while now because we've just been sitting on our hands waiting to get back out in those arenas and let our voices be heard. So couldn't be more thrilled for all of wrestling. It's going to happen across the board. WWE, AEW, Impact, and just a great time to be a wrestling fan.
That's what we all want, Paul. We all want the business in general to be healthy.
That's right.
The trickle down, if somebody's brand gets hot, it's good for all of us. It's a trickle down thing. Everybody gets to share in some of that newfound or renewed enthusiasm. So I'm a big believer. I want Ring of Honor to do well, for example, or Impact.
Yes.
I'm still, after doing a couple 3 years of New Japan voiceovers, I still enjoy watching New Japan. They have some, that they give you some great matches from time to time, really great matches. And some of my favorite stars there. I wish we had Okada. I'd love to see Okada in a big pay-per-view main event for AEW someday. And who's to say that can't happen?
Right. Bring it.
I don't know that that's going to happen. And somebody's going to hit their little websites. JR says they'll do that just to get their fucking clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. So, but point being is that, we have a good relationship with the New Japan office.
Yeah.
And I think that somewhere down the road, one would assume when travel's issues are lessened. Having an AEW presence in New Japan for some big shows seems to me would be a likely move. Seems to me. And secondly, if that's the case, then reciprocally, having some guys in New Japan here, you know, and I'm partial. Okada's a friend of mine, and we like.
I get it. It's a wrestling podcast, but he's saving us money on our mortgage. Do you really trust this process? The reviews don't lie. 5-star review after 5-star review. We make it fast, we make it easy, and it's no cost or obligation. Give us a shot to earn your business. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did, especially if you like keeping more of your own money. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket, so what are you waiting for? Hurry to savewithconrad.com.
Each other, even his English and my Japanese, which is non-existent, we communicate pretty well. So I enjoy those cats, and I think that having some of their talents on our show, you know, we've done a nice job, I think, and kind of intermittently promoting the Good Brothers.
Yes.
I'm under the impression that they're going back to New Japan, but when they're not there, I'm assuming that we'll be able to utilize their skills. They're both two good guys, good, hardworking, fundamentally sound talents. So, and it's good for us. It's good for them. They got another place to work. And Tony Khan's open-minded enough to say, you guys deserve to make a good living. And Paul, the way you do this is, these guys are like traveling salesmen. The bigger their territory gets, the more opportunities they're going to have to earn a commission, or hence, i.e. a payday. So I'm excited about all that potential of all those things. And we get that because our boss is open-minded enough to say, well, let's try this. It's all about our fans anyway, right? If the fans are happy, we should be happy.
It helps that he's such a fan too of the business, and has that open mind and wants to establish relationships. But he is a fan. I've heard him before talk about, well, remember the match in 1989 when these two took on these two, and this was the, and I'm like, his brain is incredible for the detail of
He's
wrestling.
told me stuff I said, and I started doing the math, and I said, wait a minute, you weren't even born then. Well, he said, I know, but I watched. He's a big tape guy.
Yeah,
you know, back in the day. So he's dedicated. He is a fan, and I really appreciate working for Tony, and a lot of good perks come along with that deal, like Jags tickets.
there you go. All right.
Well, hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.